Sorry because of the lighting. Hi, welcome to my channel. Last week we didn't have a video because if you can hear it in my voice, I was sick, very sick, and I couldn't do anything, and my videos just I had so many plans and so many videos to upload, but they just took a backseat. And this is not the video that I said I was very excited about. That comes hopefully by the end of this week. Yes. So I was sick, and yesterday I wanted to film. I woke up and I was like, today is the day that I'm going to film again. And then I was hit with a lack of energy, sore throat, and I spent the whole day in bed. So here we are today. And if you notice me less energetic than usual, it's because I'm still suffering from my sickness, my illness. But hopefully we are going to be okay by the end of the week. And yes, welcome anyways. I wanted to talk about my favorite book series for a very long time. Now, when I have been a reader my whole life, and when I was a child I could easily get into a book series. Like Harry Potter is one of my favorite. I used to read a lot of YA book series like Divergent, The Maze Runner. Love them, all of them. And if a book wasn't a series, it didn't really work for me. So but that all changed when I became an adult. And the thing is, right now with romance books, it's very hard for me to get into a series and really love it. Like with Mafia series, or with MC books, I read them, like a few books in the series here and there. I read them as a standalone, which is not the way to do usually, but I do it because sometimes just the other characters are so insignificant for me, and I just don't have the patience to be in one world for a very long time, say 5 books, 6 books. And I'm really good with duets, sometimes with trilogy, you know what I mean. But rarely I'm okay with a book series. Now, there have been some book series that I have absolutely loved, and today we are here to talk about them because unfortunately I don't see a lot of people talk about these books. And if you have seen my channel at all, you know that all of them are dark romance books. So not surprising, I love dark romance, and if a book series is going to intrigue me to the point of finishing the series, it's a dark romance book series. One book series that I have read recently, not so recent, a few months ago, but I absolutely loved it. Like, the books are very short, but the plot is so great. The character, I love when in a romance book or in a series, the secondary characters are really interesting, and they have they are, it's like sometimes when you read a book, I'm sorry, I have not talked about this series yet, but hear me out. When you are reading a book, usually there's no environment outside the main characters, right? There's no environment. The other characters are not as important, and usually the 2 main characters just interact with each other in a romance book, right? And I hate it. I really love interesting characters that make you curious, but sometimes in a book series they do it in a way that it's obvious that they have other books for those other characters, and it's kind of like shove it in your face, and I don't like it. But these book series, the secondary characters are just interesting for the sake of being interesting. This series is called Pocketful, I think. Pocketful of Shame, Pocketful of Us. And I absolutely love this book. The books are very short and easy to read. I flew through them. So it's basically about a girl that lives next to these two boys that are brothers, right? And they have been friends their whole lives. And I think they are like they're rich family, the two most richest family of the like their small town. And so they have been like friends for their whole lives. But the main character, the girl, is in love with one of the brothers. But something happens and she ends up dating the other brother. But in one of their dates, when they go out and like they're having a great time, the boy ends up being dead. And from that night, she's so traumatized that she doesn't remember what happens. And every time people ask her, hey, what happened? She doesn't remember. So the brother that was originally her love interest is hell-bent on finding out what happened to his brother, because his brother was the only person that really ever loved him. And so the story starts from there. And the beginning line in the blurb of the book is, nothing is as it seems in Pocketful. And it was such a good book, and so many interesting characters, so many interesting plots. The mystery was great. I love this book. I think the whole series for me had 5 stars, and I really, really recommend this book. One of my favorite book series of all time. The second book series that I want to talk, I actually don't remember the name of the like series. I don't know what something high by Selena. The first book is Bad Apple, which I have loved ever since I started it. The reason why I love this series so much is because I really relate to the main character, Harper. One of the best characters ever. I still think about this book, this world. And I read this book, I think 2 times, 3 times. And every time that I had to go back to the world, I had no problem. I loved going back to this world, to Harper, to her thoughts. Because sometimes she did things that I was like, I would do the same. Really identified with her. She was so strong. And, you know, sometimes I have a problem when authors make a strong main character, female character, but she's like, yeah, I don't care about this, I don't care about that, I don't feel anything. But she is like, she has all her life lived in the poor side of the city, and she has not had a great life. Her mom goes through men and she's addicted, and she really doesn't pay attention to her daughter as she should. And Harper basically raised herself to the point that she was forced to fight in an underground fighting ring so she could, you know, fend for herself. But that doesn't make her a bitter person. She's actually very optimistic. She wants to go make something out of herself. She is grateful for her mom, even though like she hasn't done anything. And I just love this about Harper. She tries to be optimistic, and I think that's what makes her strong. Not that there's any problem with people like being sad or not being that optimistic, being cynical. It happens. But I have read so many, by the way, this is a bully romance. I have read so many bully romance, or just romance that the girl or the boy is from the wrong side of the town, but they are like so bitter about everything. But Harper is not like that. And I just loved her all the time. I was so in love with Harper. And the thing is, as much as I loved Harper and Royal and like their back and forth thing, like Royal obviously cares for her throughout the book, but he cannot confess his feelings because you should read it to understand. But something happens, I think in the fourth book, that I could not, for that reason, finish the last book of the series. And if you have read it, tell me, should I finish it? But other than, like, although I have not finished it, I am in love with this series. There are other reasons why I have not finished this series, because I had some problems with these characters. It's kind of like a spoiler, so skip ahead. But the thing is, this is, I think, you have to read another series that is about Royal's sister that I have not read. But based on what I read in this series, all the problems come from Royal's sister, because Royal goes through like some destruction phase that he wants to destroy everybody, some families in the town, just because he thinks that they killed his sister, and his sister is alive and he doesn't do anything about it. I hate his sister, and I know she has her book, and I just couldn't like handle it for her to be the good guy. And the second are the twins, Duke and the other one, that I know they have a series about themselves, but they are psychotic and they manipulate their own brother, and they did awful things to Harper, so I cannot stand for them having books of their own, and I'm not okay with it. So that's why I couldn't finish this series. But I cannot deny that I loved it, and I still think about this series. One of my favorite books, although I couldn't finish, very dark, but one of my favorites nonetheless. Now again, this other book is one of the books that has great plot and great characters. In love with all the characters, I'm telling you. This is called Giving In, Giving Up, and something else. But this book is so interesting. I'm not gonna lie. The third book kind of was slow and a little bit boring, but it didn't take away of my love for this series. I am still waiting for this author to write bully romance and like enemies to lovers, because she does it well. Like, this is about this girl who lives in this small town, and she's kind of like she's not that rich, but she's very smart. She works hard. She has a scholarship. She's in top of her class. But she and her mother have like a dark secret, and she ends up meeting two brothers and mixing up with them. And one of the brothers is absolutely in love with her. The other one is terrorizing her. And the story starts from there. All the characters are so interesting. The plot is great. It's everything that you are looking for is in this book. And there's this character that I really like. I think his name was Chris. I think he has his own book series, but I think it's just mixed with the sister of the boys, but I don't really like that. I want him to have his own book. But it's such a great book. Please read this book. I don't know why nobody's talking about this. It's such a great, like, the writing, the storyline, the plot, the characters, the mystery. It's just amazing. The smut. I am promising you that you have never read smut like this book. Just try. Trust me. Go read this book. You won't be sorry, okay? I am sure of it. And the last one of my list is, of course, the Mindfuck series. I think I am the first one that talk about Mindfuck series on YouTube, and I remember reading it like it was nothing. Like, I finished the book and I didn't even realize, like, I think I was on the fourth book, but I didn't even realize how fast I am going through these books, and it's just amazing. I don't think it needs any introduction, but it's basically about a serial killer, a female serial killer. She's brutal. Like, the description of the killings, brutal. But she has a reason for it. And going through the books, you understand why she does what she does. But the problem is, she falls in love with the FBI agent that is investigating her case, her murders, and like, they don't know. And it's just so amazing. The plot, the characters, is everything that I look for. I really love books that have great plot, great romance, but also great characters, and great smut. The smut was amazing. I really loved the FBI agent, but he was not as outstanding as our main female character. Girls in these series are strong. You could argue for the first series that I introduced, but all of them are just so interesting. The plots are interesting, and it's everything that I look for. They are dark, they are mysterious, they are unique, and I live for that. I am reading another series called Dirty Fighting, Dirty Talking, Dirty, and it's very unique, and I have not seen anything like it. But I'm not finished yet, so I don't want to make assumptions, but I am really enjoying it. It is quite like old. I remember having it for years on my TBR, and I just started it this year, and I am enjoying. But yeah, I am looking for this kind of series with mystery, murder, and interesting. I am looking for book series that pull me in, and I don't get tired of reading the next book and the next book and the next book, So these are the series that absolutely pulled me in. Couldn't focus on other books while I was reading them, and I'm still thinking about them. And I hope I can find other book series to fall in love with. If you have any recommendations, I would love to see your opinions and your recommendations, and tell me what you think about the ones that I introduced. And if you have not read them, please trust me, please read them. They are worth it to take a chance on. And yes, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I can upload my other video that I'm really excited about by the end of the week. We'll see what happens, but other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, baby. Bye.